Welcome back to the Remote No Pressure Podcast, Bill.
Hey, it's good to be back.
It is good to be back, bro. It's good to be back. It's been a couple of weeks. We've never missed a deadline since the beginning of this podcast.
I know, it's been a crazy time. We had some family stuff coming up in my end and a loss in the family, so we had to take some time off. And you were on vacation, so that was all your fault.
It all hit at the same time because we were going to record a few. We always record a few episodes, and then you had the family situation, and then I was out of town. So how's the family? Everyone better? Feeling good?
Yeah, we're holding up well. Things are going.
Well, that's great, Bill, and it's great to be back. It's great to hang out. It's great to record an episode this week. We have Charles Cantella. I just want to tell everyone I'm really excited about the series that Aaron Reed is doing with his blue collar fly fishing on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday here on Remote No Pressure. On our, I guess we call it the R&P Network. Okay,
the R&P Network. That makes us sound so official.
The R&P Network. Today only. That's so stupid. Why do I do stuff like that? You know?
It just happens, right?
It just happens. Before we get started, I just want to say a little thank you to our sponsors. Beer lovers know the names, and I'm not talking about your local Spaceship Fruity IPAs. I'm talking about the names in this competitive beer landscape. Two-Hearted Drunken Monks, Pliny Elders, and Grapefruit Space-Time Machines all agree that there's a new name in town. It's the International Beer Challenge Award winner of 2020, Bend, Oregon's Craft Beer Award winner of 2020, one of the top-selling beers in Whole Foods. This unbelievable IPA, only 70 calories, and drum roll, please.
I still didn't get it.
I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you've had 3 weeks off, though.
You think in 3 weeks?
Wait, where was I? Oh, and the drum roll, please. It's non-alcoholic. I love craft beer, and it's hard not to in Michigan, but I've had to cut back. Nothing takes a harder toll on my body like local craft IPAs. And although some people claim that the dad bod is so hot right now, well, I just don't believe them. Athletic Brewing's Run Wild IPA is non-alcoholic, fully brewed, not diluted, non-alcoholic, low-calorie, award-winning IPA. Have this beer or any other beer shipped to you directly to your doorstep and save 20% when you go to athleticbrewing.com with the discount code BEERMONEY20. Again, BEERMONEY20. Go to athleticbrewing.com and enter BEERMONEY20 to experience this new name. Again, the athleticbrewing.com and enter the code BEERMONEY20. Did I mention the discount code enough, Bill?
What beer 20 money?
Beer money 20.
All
one
20
word.
Money. Wait. So is it 20 numbers, or do you type out the word 20?
Click down below at the link and review our show notes. I thought, man, that's a great one. Beer money 20. Who doesn't need a little beer money? And you get 20% off. But when you say it,
oh, I thought it was for the year 20. I'm like,
beer money 20.
Last year was 20.
2020. One for the books. We also have a new sponsor. Bill, you lost quite a bit of weight. I mean, like 100 pounds. You're doing the whole keto thing. Are you into yoga or anything like that at all?
Well, you know,
mind over matter stuff.
Years ago, I did that DDP yoga. Did you ever see that? No, you didn't. So there's a
you look at the YouTube and you'll know why he said
there's a wrestler from WWE and WCW years ago. His name was Diamond Dallas Page, and he did this whole yoga thing. Like, I mean, I don't even know how long ago he did this.
Oh, didn't he have like a movie on Netflix or something? Wasn't he like strung out on drugs or something? And then he started. No, Diamond Dallas Page took in.
Jake the Snake.
Jake the Snake, bro.
Yep. Did you ever watch Beyond the Mat back in the day with Jake the Snake? And it kind of shows him strung out and smoking crack.
No.
Yeah, that was a crazy movie. But anyways, DDP, he took in Jake the Snake and he got him doing the yoga. And turned his life around, and he's doing a lot. Long of the short of it, I did get into yoga for a short stint doing DDP yoga, but it's easy to fall off the wagon with that stuff.
Well, we have a new sponsor, therestoratindepot.com, so check it out in the show notes below. They provide one-stop shop for virtual wellness services that support the social, emotional, physical, and intellectual well-beings of individuals. Again, it's therestorationdepot.com. So you can go there. You can learn about different yoga, mind, brain stuff that will help you kind of get in shape, and mentally, physically, emotionally. It's amazing the power of meditation.
Now, I was going to say, I was on their website. They do meditation there, don't they?
Yeah.
I was into...
TM?
No, what's that?
You obviously don't know.
No, I don't.
It's like DDP, but...
No, I was into... I have this meditation band I put on. It hooks up to my phone, and it kind of measures your brain waves and follows... I'm into all that techie stuff when it comes to
You are, yeah. You even have that ring that like measures your heart and stuff.
I do, yeah. My Aura ring. Yep, it measures my sleep. You
had to wait for that a while. Didn't you pre-order that or something?
Yeah, that was like, man, I want to say that was like a 6-month wait. Maybe not. I got a bed topper too that lowers my body temperature at night when I'm sleeping.
Okay.
And so I have to, I had to wait for that one for like a year. And that was a good year. I think my Aura ring was only like 2 or 3 months, but it's all to help track sleep and get better sleep. That was my big thing. Well,
I do meditation, and I don't know if you know Jerry Seinfeld is, but he does TM as a transcendental meditation. So I looked into that, and I don't meditate like I want to. I'm not as consistent as I should be, but the Restoration Depot will show you how to basically take care of your brain, and it's amazing what your body can do when you meditate, and just the wellness that social, emotional, and physical and intellectual well-beings of individuals. So if you go to therestorationdepot.com, check that out today. It's an amazing website. I highly recommend it. Bill.
Awesome.
On to you. So, Bill, it's good to be back. We missed 3 weeks. That's unbelievable for us. It's unacceptable, but we did it.
We did it. It doesn't happen often. In fact, that's our first time.
First time ever we missed a week.
We'll take summers, but yeah, I know. That was not even planned. So obviously, with a loss in the family, but yeah.
Yeah, it's totally cool, man. But it is what it is. But hey, this past Wednesday, if you guys were listening to the RMP Network, remotenопроpressure.com, you heard Aaron Reed and I talk about his new series called the Blue Collar Fly Fishing Podcast, which will be every other Wednesday. And we want to say thank you to everyone that's behind that and sponsoring that, from Real L Brewing, also from Duck Camp, and also from Imperfects Books, who is Aaron's publisher. We have some really cool people that are involved in that, and we just want to say thank you to all of those as they're really making this happen. So check him out. He's the next episode. He's going to be featuring Kirk Dieter, who is the CEO of Trout Unlimited. Check it out on a Wednesday, every other Wednesday. Mr. Aaron Reed and his Blue Collar Fly Fishing Podcast. Did you like the logo? He's got a cool logo.
It was Wile E. Coyote.
Were you into Looney Tunes as a kid?
I was. Yeah, that was one of the if I remember correctly, that was like on every Saturday morning. Do you remember?
Oh yeah.
Back in the day.
Oh yeah.
And that I did enjoy that. They've changed it a lot through the years. They've had to edit a lot of the stuff out. It seems like
guns, racism.
They got away with more stuff back in those days.
Well, don't even get me started on Disney and their Nazi roots.
Oh yeah, I've heard that too.
Lots of Nazis. The Rocket, what's his name? Walt Disney brought some of those guys over to work for him. So there's Von Braun. I think we may have talked about this on the podcast before, but Von Braun. So I'm watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. It's been years ago with my kids, and one of the ducks on that show is named Professor Von Braun.
Oh yeah,
yeah. That was a Nazi rocket designer.
And doesn't he have an accent too, like a German accent?
Yeah, 100%.
Crazy.
Yeah. Anyways, that's just how it is. This whole world's gone crazy. I'm crazy. Not really, but you know what I mean? It's all driving me nuts. The whole thing's driving me nuts. Speaking of getting crazy and driving me nuts, this week in other news. Man, you hit that button right in time.
I got all my fingers going right now.
Did you hear me going?
Yep.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's the trumpet. In other news, CIA releases thousands of UFO files. We've been following this story here on the RMP Network. We're very excited about it. But actually, the truth is out there. Perhaps CIA releases thousands of UFO files. We have that link, an article down below. The truth is out there. Well, maybe thousands of documents from the CIA on unidentified flying objects were released this week in a document dump that the agency says includes all of their records on UFOs. The documents are currently available on the Black Vault, an online archive of declassified government documents. After the site's founder, John Greenwald Jr., purchased a CD-ROM the CIA made with its UFO documents. About 2,700 pages were included in its collection, while the agency says they're all files that his has on UFOs. But Greenwald notes...
That's a weird sound.
Maybe it's a UFO.
Going back.
But Greenwald notes on his website that there may be no way to entirely verify that. So even though during the whole COVID law passed and they're required to release it all, I don't think they're going to release it all.
So they've released it all, and they're saying that there may be no way to verify that it's real then.
Exactly. And there's no way to verify that it's all.
Oh, so there could be more.
It could be more. Yeah. I don't know. I think if there were UFOs, I think we'd know it. I don't know. If they wanted us to know it, we'd know it. But you're into the other dimensions thing. And see, that's what I'm talking about. Other dimensions. What is the meaning of life, Bill?
Whoa.
Do you know what I mean?
We're beyond the dimensions now.
I'm talking about going into, how do you access those other dimensions? That's the question. I was waiting for the dare. There you go. I close my eyes and I look into the camera, and I say, what is the meaning of life? And it's true. Sometimes I think about that. And you stare in the mirror and you ask yourself that question 3 times in a row in a dark room with a candle lit.
No, that's a different one. I think that's Bloody Mary.
Can't keep up with all of them.
All the kids these days in there.
Kids these days.
And their creepy bathroom games.
The creepy bathroom games. The freaky fairy people.
That's going to be next week.
That's going to be next week. Stay tuned for the freaky fairy people.
That's gonna come back to bite you, I think.
The fairy word, or
no? That's going to be a bad shirt that we're going to have on our website someday.
Freaky fairy people.
Anyways, go on.
Why are you so uncomfortable, Bill? What's wrong with the word fairy?
There's nothing wrong.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Wait till next week. We talk with Ken. Things get out of control. I think it's totally unglued, unhinged, but only if you subscribe to our podcast.
Only at YouTube.
Only on the YouTube. Yeah, thanks very much for checking out the YouTube. Right now, you can go on our website at remotenopressure.com. Check out our shirts. We have them on sale right now for $18. Any shirt that you want to buy for $18. We also have the band, the Parachute Adams Band. No, it's not Fecal Discharge, and it's not the Big Toe Peep Show. This is a legitimate band called Jeff Troutman and the Parachute Adams Band. We have our CD out at jefftroutman.com or jefftroutman.us, or also you can check it out on our website, remotenopressure.com. This week on the Remote No Pressure podcast, I'm very excited. Me and Wild Bill went out to Pittsburgh a couple of years ago, and we spoke at a Trout Unlimited event. We had a great time. And it's just amazing the people that you meet when you're out and about. Big Gretch, we would like to go out and about and take the show on the road, but we can't right now. But however, we did have a good time back in the day. And today we have a great time with Mr. Charles Cantella, who talks about his book, Touch of Grayling, and then Fins and Grins, which is another book. And what I like about this episode is that he doesn't take himself too seriously. Mm-hmm. Welcome to the podcast. Let's light the fire. This week on the Remote No Pressure podcast, I'm very excited to have Mr. Charles Cantella. Did I pronounce that right, Charles?
You did. Thank you.
Charles Cantella is a writer from Pittsburgh, PA, where he spends his time shirking his duties and responsibilities and is likely to be found fishing On the water, he tends to laugh at flubs and follies of others and himself because behind every blunder is a funny story waiting to be told. And that's why you wrote the books, right?
This is exactly why. Because we had enough people out there looking for deep, meaningful connections to nature and to this and to that, yada, yada, yada. We needed somebody that was going to shine a light onto what really happened when, people stepped in and waded deeper than their waders were and get everything ready. They get there and they've forgotten their fly box. We've all been there. Absolutely. But most of us just, would prefer that no one remembers that. So I'm immortalizing them.
Yeah, we had Mark Usick. Do you know who Mark Usick is? He's another fly fishing writer.
I do. So fun story about Mark. Before he was starting to write, he's kind of reaching out. He's like, hey, does anybody ever done anything on self-publishing, things like that? And so I kind of gave him some tips and things like that. So we've been Facebook friends for a long time, and the good Lord willing, we'll get to fish together sometime.
Yeah, he's hilarious, man. He's talking about someone who doesn't take life too seriously. We need more of that. We need more. We need more of the riffraff and the shenanigans. Speaking of anecdotes and stories, this is our first podcast in quite a while. So I'm kind of getting back in the routine of things. So if I talk too much, let me know. But it was I don't know, Bill. I don't know if you were there or not. We went on trout camp. Were you there when Accountant Phil filled his waders?
I was not at that one, no.
Okay. So I'm really paranoid about hypothermia and whenever I'm out and about, and so.
Right.
Yeah, Accountant Phil filled his waders and with water.
Mm-hmm.
And,
did he do that one for fun?
No. And so I freaked out. I went overboard. Get out of the water, But anyways, yeah.
What time of year was that too, by the way?
It was in November. November's, it's kind of like Pennsylvania, Charles. It could be crazy. It's cold. It could be super cold. Also, it could be kind of warm. It all depends. Now, were you there when Bill and you weren't there when we came out to Pennsylvania last year or a year before last, actually?
So I saw you at the Penns Woods West Trout Unlimited. You came and did a speech for us, maybe played a few songs, things like that. So I met you there.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't know if I had the pleasure of meeting Bill on your Pennsylvania World Tour.
Yeah, we wanted to come back this year and book. We wanted to book some shows, or actually 2020.
Nice.
And take this thing on the road, but Big Gretch, our governor, has shut everything down, and it's been kind of a rough time for a lot of people, especially in the entertainment world.
Gretch.
Big Gretch. Bill, did you see that she was here locally and she had a name tag on that said Big Gretch?
No, I did not.
She did. So it's not me just making up a name and being derogatory.
You're taking her name from her. Or you're taking her own nicknames that she's giving herself.
Unless she took the name. I bet you she listens to the podcast and she's like, I like that name.
I bet that's exactly what it is. You're trendsetters. You're influencers.
Nothing says trend like a 40-year-old balding white guy, with a dad bod. That's trending.
Wait. Are you talking now about our governor?
Yeah.
My governor is worse than your governor.
It's been a crazy time, though, for everybody. And, we're trying to all kind of dig out and find our way out of it and dig our way out. But we loved Pittsburgh. We want to come back. Yeah. And
great.
Bill, do you remember the restaurant we ate at?
Oh, man, I don't.
It had fries on the sandwich.
Yeah.
Primante's.
That's it.
You went to Primante Brothers.
That's it.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
So we went to Pittsburgh. Bill and I left, in the morning, and we stopped by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame there in Cleveland.
Oh,
nice.
Yeah. I know. Remember that, Bill?
Yep.
And then we drove, and we're like, the address was somewhere, I guess we put it in the wrong.
We ended up kind of in the hood.
Definitely in the hood.
Up on top of a big hill.
On top of a big hill.
In Pittsburgh or in Cleveland?
In Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh, yeah.
In Pittsburgh. Oh, well.
Yeah, so we thought we would go to the hotel, have a couple of hours, take a shower, get ready for the show.
We rolled right into the Trout Unlimited, right as we were about to start, weren't we? Like we were maybe a little bit early just to get plugged in.
Yeah. And we were starving, so we ate some, like, my kid had some crackers in the glove compartment.
We raided his stash.
As long as the stash is only crackers, you're doing a good job parenting.
We had the munchies.
So I apologize to everyone at Pennswood West, because we looked like absolute travelers, I guess.
We call that ambiance. You know, you were yeah. It was your aura of mystique.
Yeah, it's my brand. You look like shit. Oh, it's my brand.
It's my brand.
Can't help that. But anyways, yeah, so it's really good to see your books. And I also want to say thank you very much for sending out a couple of copies of those.
Sure.
I'd like to talk to you a little bit about the Touch of Grayling and kind of what's behind that. And can you tell us a little bit how that book is structured? And also, while we're on it, if people are listening on their iPhones or wherever you're listening to your streaming or watching on YouTube, check out the show notes below where you can check out his book, and you can order that on Amazon. Or do you have a website, Charles?
I can't say that I do.
Okay.
It's my brand, you know, lackadaisical.
You got to send me
I
some.
lollygag.
Yeah. I only accept Bitcoin. That's my brand.
That's right. Well, good luck with that. You can't eat Bitcoin.
So can you tell us a little bit about that book and what made you want to write it?
Was that? Well, so I had been doing some, I don't know. I've always liked reading and things of that nature, and you kind of put together things you like versus things you like. So fine, it was natural that I would write about fishing and outdoors and things like that. And so as I did that, I started to get, hey, look, let me send something to this place. Let me send something to that place. And pretty soon I had a collection of stories that had been, published at other places. And I said, well, maybe I should put those all together at one place and kind of say thank you to the author or the editors and people that took a chance and published my stuff. And so we were thinking originally, some friends and I were thinking, well, Graylings are kind of cool. We were thinking of going with 50 Shades of Grayling. And then we were concerned that the wrong demographic would be like, well, wait a minute, this is not at all what I was looking for. I was looking for some soft core stuff going on here.
Yeah, you're sold out of the
how-tos for the bedroom. I don't need to hear silly stories about guys falling in streams. So we went with A Touch of Grayling. So now the problem is if you type that in, it comes up with that hair care product.
You're selling. Like, oh, no. You're selling to middle-aged moms, regardless, right?
Well, I'm either selling to middle-aged moms or middle-aged dads, one or the other, right?
Yeah. You'll be getting some new converts though that way, right?
Passionate about the sport.
We're all here to have fun. It's all in fun.
Sorry, it's crazy because we're back and we're just kind of goofing off. So I'm sorry. We were trying not to hijack your serious story about your passionate novella.
Let me tell you, there was nothing serious about this. In fact, because it is Tuesday, I even wore I don't know if you can see it, my Taco Tuesday fish shirt.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because that is just how serious I am taking this.
That's perfect.
All right. So then, like I said, there was just a bunch of stories from different places, and I'd say thank you to the different authors or editors and things like that. And it kind of came together. And then for shits and giggles, pardon the French, I threw a really sad story in there, and I warned everybody in the foreword, but no one reads the foreword, which is a shame because it's really it's kind of the gravy that holds the rest of the meal together.
Right.
But so everyone was like, "Oh my God, did that seriously happen?" No, it's all fiction. So if you happen to read it and you're sad, I'm sorry. You've been warned. There is one sad one.
That's awesome. So you've written for like the Drake, Fly Fishing, and Fly Tying, which is out of the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
And America's Favorite Flies, which happens to be on my desk because we covered that book here on the podcast.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, I did my research on you guys.
So America's Favorite Flies, we put a link down below for that one as well. And it's crazy because I got it in the mail, a promo copy, for media copy. And
Sure.
it was like a brick that showed up at my house. The thing is massive, but it's just. I will be really honest with you. It is a magical book. It's so beautiful the way it's laid out. It is a high quality book. Job. What did you write in that? I'm sorry, I should have did a little more research. But what part of that book were you responsible for?
So it was, what's your favorite fly? And I was talking about a trip we had taken to Utah in the Green River, and the cicadas were hatching. And so, and hopefully that's going to happen here in Pennsylvania this year. Mark your calendar, guys. And so, the nice thing is if you're a clumsy fisherman like I am, if the fly slaps water all the time, it's so much better if you have a big meaty fly like the cicada. I mean, it sucks if it's a size 12 parachute Adams, but you slap it down there, and I'm used to a creek that has maybe hundreds of fish per square mile as opposed to thousands of fish per square mile. You're like, I scared this fish. I'll just move down 3 yards and look, there's a whole other pot of fish.
Wow.
So it was tremendous. You guys get out west at all?
I was out in Idaho a year ago, November.
Excellent.
And but that's the first time that I fished a mountain stream, and it was cold. It was too cold, and I didn't catch anything. I basically was out there for work, and I threw on an extra day, and it's like, screw it, I'm just going to go. So I emailed a couple of people that had been on the show and said, hey, where's some spots I could go? And it was a beautiful spot, but that's the only thing. Bill, have you ever been out west?
I have not. I have not been farther west than like Tulsa. So, and there's not much good fishing out there that I'm aware of.
Tulsa is not. No offense to our 2 listeners in Tulsa.
They may have carp. You might want to talk to Dan Frazier.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure that same thing with Houston. Houston's got some. Of course they got the saltwater fishing, but Rob McConnell's been on the show. He's actually writing a book right now about fly fishing in the Houston area. And Danny Scarborough, who did the carp, I forgot the name of the. He has an awesome carp fly. It's not called the carpet bomb. It's another one, but he has a carp fly that's really effective as well. And it's just kind of crazy seeing people make fisheries out of mud holes these days. It's not all sexy fishing anymore. It's fishing everywhere.
You're right.
What do you think about that, Charles?
Well, and I think we're kind of at a crossroads in many ways in our country and our culture, but in fishing too. I mean, being somebody who writes, more lighthearted stuff. If you look at, there doesn't seem to be many places like the Field and Stream used to have. The last page would be something like that. You used to have your Ed Zerns in your McManus's. You just don't have as much of a fun thing. Everything seems to be either exotic or super sexy or cutting edge, like you said. Hey, wait a minute, we're going to go gar fishing, or we're going to go carp fishing, and we're going to go. And it's awesome because the chances of me catching a 10-pound carp are tremendously better than me catching a 10-pound trout. Because I suck. And I own that. But if you've ever fished for carp, and where it's like really clear and they're spooky, it's almost, on par with, they're just as skittish as any trout I've seen.
Yeah, they're the fish of 1,000 casts. It seems like I really suck at fishing carp. I've been trying the last 2 summers and I can't quite get one. So
I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you for sure.
But I think that's and we have a mini series going on right now. We had our first episode last Wednesday when this is going to air, but it's Aaron Reed with the Blue Collar Fly Fishing podcast. Nice. And so, so in a couple of weeks, he'll be interviewing Kirk Dieter from Trout Unlimited, who's the CEO there. And he's got some great guests coming on. But, Aaron and I have had this conversation several times about just fishing where you are, and even though I think that's some of the problems and some of the consistent feedback I've had from like the Fly Fishing Film Tour. I watch it every year. I go see it and I love it, but it's, I'm not going to be fishing from a helicopter in Brazil for bonefish anytime soon. It's going to be the creek down the street that I know about that has a couple steelhead that's, in the Grand River, that kind of thing.
And you guys are lucky. Being up there in Michigan, you just have water everywhere. we have 90 miles of steelhead water in Pennsylvania, of like Lake Erie shoreline.
Oh, wow.
So, there's a lot of envy there. But yeah, no, Michigan has always kind of been one of those like bucket list. I mean, I've been to Michigan, but it's still like one of those cool places that I want to go back. I'm like, but what is it about Michigan? Is it because it looks like a mitten? It's because Jim Harrison is from there. Is that where, the Ausable River is? I don't know. I think it's because you guys have the best names for towns. like Ypsilanti. Who the hell?
Yeah.
We have things like Pittsburgh and Cannonsburg and something elseburg and what do you call it, Bill? But you guys have, you've got all sorts of good stuff.
Yeah.
Kalamazoo.
Kalamazoo is a legit city. I remember because I'm from Texas. I'm from Texas, and I was talking to someone about Kalamazoo, Michigan, and they're like, "Is that a real city?" And I'm like, "Yes, bro, it's a real place. Kalamazoo is a real place."
Sounds like a Dr. Seuss city.
You guys hit all of the consonants. You have like, what's there's the V one. I don't remember. You got towns with V, starts with V's and Z's and X's.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yep. Lots of weird names. Texas has some weird names. And you got to know how to pronounce them, just like the ones in Michigan. And I don't know if we've got a lot of Native American heritage in both places.
Right, you do.
And I think, it's kind of weird both ways. We have Charlotte. It's spelled Charlotte, but we call it Charlotte.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
Not to confuse it with the North Carolina Charlotte, right?
Exactly. Not to be confused, because if you landed there somehow, you could easily be confused that this North Carolina. No, it's not. It's not a very sexy.
It's so much
place.
better.
Yeah, it's so much better than North Carolina, especially in January.
Yeah, right.
So
there will be no ice fishing in North Carolina in January.
I think that this year is my last year ice fishing. I'm done with it. I'll never ice fish again, I don't think. So I'm kind of done with that. Charles,
we have awesome ice fishing here.
Are you an ice fisherman?
I've tried it before, but it comes down to the fact that a friend of mine, his girlfriend at the time, said, we're going to go out fishing. She's like, it's like 13 degrees. And he's like, yeah, well, we'll only be out 3 hours. And we were out an hour, but she's like, you guys are just desperate men. And I'm like, yes, that's what it comes down to,
February.
By the time, this is when the Super Bowl was still in January. The week after the Super Bowl, no one's watching the Pro Bowl, so there's nothing to do because whatever. So we went out and drilled a hole and looked in that little 6-inch hole of ice, and then picked up our stuff and went home.
Now, have you ever spearfished through the ice? Did the spear thing?
I have not, but that sounds intriguing.
My father-in-law got me a spear, like a legit spear. And the way you do it, you do like a 6-foot by 3-foot hole in your shanty. You get a big shanty.
Right.
And then you drop some, and like we have a creek, like it's like a river, I guess, but
yeah.
And you drop corn down, and not in like corn, like it's all white. It's like the husk of the corn, so it looks white.
Yeah.
And then you get the reflection of the light, and then when you use this wooden decoy.
I've heard of that. I've seen like some on Facebook. It ends up I'm probably more friends with like artists and stuff, and people carve ice fishing decoys. And I'm like, is that a real thing? So I'm intrigued.
It's a real thing, and so you have this decoy, and and they come up they come up to hit that decoy, and when they do, and you see the background because the corn husk is white.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with fly fishing, but whatever. So you wait. So there's and they come in and you just.
That's amazing.
Just spear them.
But I haven't done it. I've had this gear and stuff I got it for Christmas 2 years ago. And we had no ice that year, and then this year we had ice, but I was just too dang cold to ever do anything.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued.
Do you have access to a shanty? Because I would think that that's a big deal.
Yeah, I've got access to a shanty. I would like to do it with my shirt off, with like some kind of fur based bottoms.
Nice.
Loincloth?
Like a woolly loin.
Because that's your brand.
That's your brand.
You're the He-Man.
I'm going to be like that guy that took over the Capitol building with the horns and everything. You're going to be like, holy crap, I think that's Jeff.
I'm not going to get political, but why is there not more outrage that bull had to die? Buffalo did not do anything wrong. He did not deserve that.
Yeah, you know what? And we don't have to worry about it because we're not even monetized, so we don't have to worry about YouTube shutting us down. So even when we insinuate things, we're still okay. We're still
well. There you go.
We're below the radar.
And there's also the beauty of editing.
That's
the
right.
beauty of editing. That's beauty. Now you had another book, Fins and Grins. Now are those your kids on the front cover there of that book?
They are. Yeah. Yeah.
Do they look a little bit bigger?
Long time ago.
Yeah, are they a little bit? Are they bigger now?
Yeah, they are 19 and 17 now, soon to be 17. So
wow,
it's weird to look back and see where they were at that point. And I'm sure now that they've gotten past it. But then every so often, one of their friends will be like, "Oh wait, I read your dad's book. I heard those stories about you." and my daughter, said crap, and I said, and I get the call, hey, you should hear what your daughter said. And I said, honey, what did you say? And she said, I said a bad word. What did you say? And she goes, CARP. And I said, well, that's not so bad. It's carp. It's not a big deal. And then I catch hell because no, she did not say carp. She said crap. I'm like, well, that's still not that bad. There's a lot of worse things she could have said.
Yeah, absolutely. My son learned the F-bomb fishing underneath the bridge in Lowell, Michigan. He was like 7, and he looked at me and he said, Dad, what is, the F word?
Oh, no.
What does that mean?
Yeah. Wow.
I was like, well,
I recall learning that driving home, seeing the graffiti when I was young and coming home from church of all places. Mom, what does that mean? You're going to have to ask your dad. Dad, what does that mean? You'll learn when you're older. You got to love that age of parenting.
Oh, yeah. And
you learn it when you need to learn it.
Whenever they say that, it just intrigues you more. You just want to learn.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, I'm like, now that word is in my radar, I'm like all of a sudden picking it up everywhere. Oh, wait a minute. Those kids down the block, they're saying that word. And, that movie, there's that word.
So Fins and Grins, is that about taking kids? Can you tell us a little bit about that book and what it's about and what made you want to write it?
Well, it was a similar sort of thing on the second vein. It was I have a bunch of stories, from whatever classes, writing classes I'd taken, fun of it, things of that. And I said, so I put them together. And then as I was doing it, and I would think you notice this, this too, as a songwriter, like motivation comes when motivation comes,
Mm-hmm.
You can be like bone dry for so long. And then all of a sudden you're like, wow, I'm getting all of these things that are just motivating me. And I'm getting all these ideas for chord progressions or lyrics or whatever it is. And so then, I sit down and you're just banging out stories after stories.
Right.
And then you end up with a second set. It's like, wow, what can I do with these? And so, the Fins and Grins was first and it was just kind of a fun thing. And then people would say, are you writing more? Are you doing more of those fun things? I like them because it's printed, because most of the people in my life, because I am no spring chicken. So a lot of people in my life are even older than me. So they appreciate the 14 font letter size. And so I'm like, well, then I'll market to that demographic. So I'm marketing to middle-aged women who want to read 50 Shades. I'm marketing to middle-aged men who want a touch of Grayling. I'm marketing to people who want large letters.
See anything in large? No, we got this one book in the back. Is it any good? No, right. But I'll read it.
Each page is one letter. The book is this big.
Oh, yeah. That's 2 years ago on the Flat River, I was trying to get one of those size 12 Adams flies on the end of my tippet, and I realized that I can't see it, and I had to get some readers.
Right.
That's how I found out about it, but it is what it is. Well, what do you got coming out next? Are you working on anything now? Or are you taking a hiatus from writing? What's going on in your world right now, Charles?
So I'm currently I'm writing some stuff, and I'm kind of at a crossroads because I had a friend that was going to say, hey, let's do a couple of these, put a couple of yours, a couple of mine. We'll see whatever goes on. but then lightning struck for him, and he has a book in the works here, and it's about a kid. I'm not allowed to talk too much, I don't think, at this point, but he's one of my good friends that I refer to in a lot of the stories, so I'm excited for him. But so I'm just kind of like, well, do you need me to review stuff? Do you need me to look over stuff? But no, yeah, there's definitely some writing going on. Now that the weather's nice, we're gonna call it research. Okay. Research, which, I'm sorry, boss, I'm sick. But you can't do that anymore because everyone thinks you're automatically COVID.
Yeah.
So you have to come up with, my car wouldn't start. Really? On a 40-degree morning, your car wouldn't start? Yeah, the battery's frozen. I don't know. I'm just not coming in today. Can I say that the blue wings are hatching? That's why I can't come in, boss.
Yeah, can I be really honest with you, sir?
Exactly.
The hex is on, and I was fishing all night.
Oh, yeah, that's right. How does that go? Have you ever fished that?
Yes, with
Is it as crazy as it sounds?
Well, the night we went, it wasn't super crazy, but it was wild. It's really cool. I would highly recommend it. I'm going to do it again this summer with Kaz. Try to, Brian Kosminski from True North Trout.
Okay.
A real gem of a guy, and just an unbelievable, guide, and just a human being. And and me and Accountant Phil went up there a couple summers ago, and it was a lot of fun. It's a long night, and me and Accountant Phil thought we would drive back the same night and work the next day.
Nice. And this is Accountant Phil of the aforementioned dunking in the water in the waders.
Yeah, and he's been on the show.
I need to fish with him because he would just be a ton of stories just waiting to happen.
Yeah, I would not be, because I'm perfect.
Well, so that's the problem with writing about all of your friends' goof ups, is that pretty soon you run out of people who are willing to go fishing with you, because they're like, well, bite me. I know that if I screw up, you're going to write about it.
Exactly.
If I zing that $7 zoo cougar into the tree, it's going to be a story. And I'm like, well, look at it this way. I'm holding your feet to the fire. Don't throw that zoo cougar into the tree.
Exactly.
I'm making them be a better fisherman.
That sounds like a chapter out of your Touch of Grayling book, Zoo Cougars.
It's my gift.
Zoo Cougars.
I will mock you into being a better person and a better fisherman.
Sure is a big fly you got. Well, I really appreciate you hanging out with us, Charles. It's amazing the amount of insinuation we're doing. Really going off the rails very quickly, but I really appreciate you hanging out with us. I always appreciate people who don't take themselves too seriously. If you guys are checking us out, check down below in the show links. We have links to his book, Fins and Grins, and Touch of Grayling. You can also connect with him on Facebook and Instagram. If he chooses to allow you into his world, you can request to be his friend. But I highly recommend Charles, and he's a nice guy. And it's been great getting to know you. I appreciate your flexibility as we've been working out personal stuff. And
Sure.
As always, we look forward to being back in Pittsburgh, don't we, Bill?
We do.
All right. I look forward to seeing you guys when you get here.
All right. Well, have a great one. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, Bill.
Dude, it's always a pleasure.
It is always a pleasure. It's always a pleasure hanging out with me.
I'm a pretty pleasurable man.
I'm a pretty pleasurable guy. Pretty stimulated with the stimulus checks.
Feeling pretty stimulated lately.
Feeling very stimulated and pleasurable. Ribbed for your pleasure.
I knew that one was coming. I don't know how. We haven't even talked about that.
We haven't even talked about that one. Ribbed for your pleasure. What does ribbed mean? I'm going to rib you. Do you ever hear that word? I'm going to rib you. I want to joke around with you. I did. What the hell does that mean?
I don't know.
Rib you on a poke.
I don't know. Is that like a poking you in the rib kind of thing?
I'm going to poke you there. I don't know, dude. Someone said I'm gonna quit ribbing me.
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that.
Really? Quit ribbing me?
Quit ribbing. Like that's more of an old timey phrase, I think.
What do you call a dresser? Is that a Nickelodeon?
What?
A Nickelodeon is a legit like old school dresser, I think.
I've never heard of that before. I've heard of the Nickelodeon Network, but not in terms of that. You're going to Google it, aren't you?
Hold on. This is the end of the show. No one's listening. Nickelodeon word. Now, only thing comes up is, are you afraid of the dark? But here, let's see, dictionary.com. The origin of that. Nickelodeon was concocted from nickel, the name of the U.S. 5-cent coin. So I guess a 5-cent coin was called a Nickelodeon, like nickel. 5 cents is a nickel. A Nickelodeon. Who knows?
I don't get it.
Anyways, check us out at remotenopressure.com. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts or to the YouTube channel. And you can check out our shirts for $18 right now, only at remotenopressure.com. Bill, you have any final words?
I don't.
Son of a...
I know.
3 freaking weeks.
And I was going to write something, but we had a family thing going on.
There's no excuse. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Until next time, go fishing.